Good evening. My name, as you know, is Miss Theresa Klinkhammer, and I teach math and religion at St. Ambrose Academy. This is my first year teaching at St. Ambrose, and I love it. This evening, I'd like to share a little bit of my love for and joy in St. Ambrose with you. In order for you to understand how delightful I find this school to be, I'd like to share with you my experience from my past 2 years of teaching middle school math and religion in Mobile, Alabama. Ever since I was little, I had always thought that I would be a great teacher like my father. After college graduation, I accepted a position teaching in a small Catholic school in the South and prepared to inspire my students with my love of mathematics and to foster in them a deep desire for learning. I was confident that I would do great things in their lives. I spent the whole summer planning well-designed lessons and spent the week before classes meticulously studying up every aspect of my classroom, making sure everything was perfect. Then the first few students trickled in one by one, and disorder and destruction reigned for the rest of the year. I had no control of my classroom, and my students knew it. I saw myself as an awful teacher and a failure to my students. There was no joy in anything I did, and no way for me to find joy in my students. Although I was unhappy at my school, I had heard from every teacher I talked to that the first few years of teaching were the hardest, and that things would get better if I stuck with it. I still saw teaching as my vocation, despite the challenges I had faced, and I decided to give it another try in the Midwest at a tiny classical Catholic school that my friend Kimberly Burkhardt had been teaching at. I applied to St. Ambrose, and here I am, happy beyond my ability to imagine last year. St. Ambrose is amazing. It's a teacher's paradise. I haven't had a single student call me by my first name. No student has hidden in a trash can. I've only heard the phrase, "It wasn't me," once. I've never dreaded going to school in the morning or cried because I didn't think I could make it through one more day here. Students haven't revolted against me or encircled me screaming. Students are capable of walking in straight, silent lines if I ask them to. No student has broken the glass of the fire extinguisher door and then been excused by his father. The blackboard eraser hasn't been thrown at me even once. Had I stayed in Alabama, it's possible that my third year of teaching would have been significantly better and held fewer challenges in the way of classroom management. There's only so many things students can throw at you. However, there's no way that a third year teaching in Alabama could be the joy-filled experience of this year at St. Ambrose. When I was little and dreamed of what a vocation in teaching might be, I think I was dreaming of St. Ambrose, of informing minds and changing hearts. The two distinct aspects of St. Ambrose that form its identity, its classical education and its Catholic culture, allow for the minds and hearts of students to be educated and for their lives to be transformed. The world needs St. Ambrose because of the Catholic classical education the school provides. Classical education takes what's best and most interesting from all times and cultures and gives it to students. Students read difficult texts and analyze logical arguments. They defend positions and find out what they think about challenging issues by debating with classmates and teachers. Students think. The second aspect of St. Ambrose that is splendid is its Catholic climate. Students are challenged by each other to grow in virtue. Seeking holiness is typical. It is a normal occurrence for a high school boy to stand up in front of the entire school at lunch and make an announcement that he needs all spiritual bouquets for the cross-country coaches by that evening. Every day, a student leads the Chaplet of Divine Mercy, and the entire school joins in. At 3:05 p.m., a group of 4 students come to my classroom and put it to rights in a matter of 2 minutes or less, without ever uttering a single word of complaint. Students say thank you upon exiting the classroom, and they hold doors for each other. One of my favorite experiences at St. Ambrose this year was when I asked the 7th and 8th grade students which privilege of Mary is the most important. The privileges are the Immaculate Conception, the Perpetual Virginity, and the Assumption. You'll have a quiz on that later. The 7th and 8th grade students debated back and forth, bringing up Mary being the new Ark of the Covenant, the Incarnation and its role in salvation history, what would have happened if Mary's body had rotted, or if Jesus were to have had siblings. Eventually, some of the students said that the question wasn't a good one, and Ms. Klinkhammer, we should throw it out. Just throw out the premise that there is a most important privilege of Mary. They're all important. Someone said to me recently that St. Ambrose wouldn't be a teacher's paradise for me forever. You're trying to teach kids truth. Eventually, you'll face resistance. Those words terrified me for a couple of days. I love my teacher's paradise at St. Ambrose, and I hate suffering. You guys do too? Okay. I reflected upon how miserable I was the past 2 years, and I couldn't bear the thought of suffering so much again. But the more that I thought about it, the more that I realized that St. Ambrose is worth suffering for. Be sure to remind me that when trials actually come. Beautiful good work is being done at this school. Students' minds and hearts are educated using the best of what has been said and thought throughout all of history. Students are able to think. They get to talk to each other about ideas. They develop their relationship with God. This place is worth suffering for. Please pray for me and for all the teachers and students that we can accomplish the good work the Lord has given to us. Thank you for this opportunity of speaking with you tonight. Thank you very much for your support of St. Ambrose. I'm grateful to the Lord every day for allowing me to teach here, and I thank y'all for allowing the school to continue.